We're going to be answering all your questions and I'll be helping you the best way I can. Again, Black Friday is approaching at the end of this month. I think it's the 28th, I believe. So I want to make sure you guys are all covered before we get to that point. Now, we're going to start this live stream off by talking about the best and worst, more or less, Samsung TVs to get. But essentially, it's all about telling you what not to buy. So don't buy any Samsung TVs until you watch this because there's a lot of bullshit out there, a lot of garbage out there. And I'm just going to approach it by starting from the top. First and foremost, you need to get yourself a basically top end Samsung. And you usually want to stick with OLED. So I'm talking your Samsung S90 series, anything Samsung S after that, S84, S85, S90, S95. Those are the TVs with Samsung that are pretty much the only safe ones. There you go. Literally everything else is garbage. I'm talking all their mini LEDs, all their QLEDs, all their crystal UHD TVs, all their regular TVs, the FHD TVs. Those are all garbage. And here's why. You can find better in the same price range, literally the same exact price range with another brand. And I'm looking at Hisense Heavy. I mean, there isn't a single thing any Samsung TV can do as far as picture quality that a Hisense can't give you. And that's how ridiculous it has gotten. And you don't even have to go that high up. You could say like $700, $800. Hisense can destroy pretty much everything that Samsung offers in the same price range and way above it. And then don't even get me started if you start spending the same exact price point. TCL, Hisense, these brands will start beating what Samsung offers relatively easy. The mini LED game is just not what it is. You know, it was supposed to be very beautiful black levels, bright color, beautiful highlights, and it was supposed to be like these dream TVs. Well, that dream has been shattered because what ends up happening is because they want to push more QD OLED units out, the contrast is just so low on these QD mini LEDs or Neo QLEDs that by the time you start watching it, it's absolutely abysmal. And you see a lot of clouding, you see a lot of uniformity issues. Black starts looking gray, you have blooming, text look terrible at campfire scenes, letterbox bars showing some abnormalities from time to time. It's just not great. And again, it depends on what you watch, but at the end of the day, I really do not recommend any one of you put your stock into, anything that's not their QD OLED line, because Samsung has proven through their actions that, honestly speaking, they're not trying to make good TVs anymore. They're just trying to pump out what I would call general population TV. A person that doesn't know a whole lot about TV, but they want a TV that's cheap or affordable, right? And that's what Samsung does. They focus more on the price than the value or quality. And you don't get either with Samsung until you get up into their QD OLED line of things. And so that's why I would tell you it's relatively easy when we talk brand wise. See, like in the last video that I did about this topic, LG was a lot harder to do because they have some that are above, the entry level that actually are of value. But Samsung is kind of like, they're in a similar boat, but like literally none of their TVs are redeemable when you look at the QD mini LED line or the Neo QLED line or the regular LEDs. They're just not great anymore. So hopefully that part of it helps you guys out. And of course, throughout the night, I'll be trying to answer as many of your questions. I know I did miss the live stream on Friday. So even though it's late night, I still wanted to try to have that time with you guys, that one-on-one, so that we could break that fourth wall between content creator and viewer and just ask your questions so you can have a organic interaction that's not so plastic, if you will, because it's hard when all you ever do is talk to somebody through comments and you don't really hear them talking to you and answering your questions. There's a certain level of are you bullshitting me that goes along with that too. Like if I get to see you talking to me on camera as I ask you a question, I'm less inclined to feel like I'm just wasting my time. Like I tend to feel when I go around and I look at other YouTubers that I like. I'm like, man, this person's full of shit. Like, it happens like that a lot. A lot of YouTubers and just content creators get in their own damn head too. I've seen it too many times where they're like, oh, well, I have this many subscribers. It's like, who the fuck cares, man? Like, honestly, nobody cares. Like, what are you doing with the people you have? And so that's why I like to have these Q&As, very casual, very informal. There's nothing like, suit and tie. You got to be all professional here. Just have fun. That's the rule here. You got to have a good time and not take everything so up the ass. So hopefully, anybody watching, you know what I'm saying and you want to have a good time getting your questions answered at the same time too. So if there's a question you want to ask, make sure you ask it, because now I'm going to start the portion where I start reading your comments, and then we'll reiterate what I was talking about at the beginning at the end. All right, Jose Rossi, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by tonight. S95F is awesome. I absolutely agree. I don't know how to say your name, by the way, but I'm just gonna say Oda because that's just easier. But thanks, man. I appreciate that. Sergio, thanks for stopping by tonight. Craig, thanks for stopping by tonight. Da, da, da. Brandon Rogers, what's going on, man? You said S95S. I don't know what the S95S is. You said for Black Friday, if the S90D isn't available. I'm not familiar with the S model. I can't give advice one way or another on that one, but I can tell you that the S95 series is typically pretty fantastic. You meant S95D, I see. Yeah, the S95D is a great TV. It's absolutely spectacular, but we need to like even when we look at like the tier of QD OLED within there are just TVs that are just going to do better defying logic. So the S90D looks better than the S95F in a lot of examples for contrast. It's just not as bright and it doesn't have a one connect box, but it has about 90 to 95% of the picture quality. And if you're somebody that really values picture quality and you're not really too crazy about all the cutting edge brightness shit that the 95 does, then you don't need to spend the 95 money. It's honestly a waste of your money because you go at it throwing way more money at it than you have to when your goal was bright, but not too bright, but also excellent color. I mean, if that's just what you want, then get the 90D for sure. But if you need that one connect box because you want to have a cleaner setup or things like that, then obviously the 95D is where you have to go. Samsung's getting away with selling TVs to customers that buy them just for the namesake. I mean, honestly, if I'm being 100% transparent, I think like LG, I think Vizio, I think a lot of the other guys, they get away with this a lot. What is that? A damn spider? That is totally a spider. I always look at like my gear, and as I'm looking at it, I see like this random fucking spider. I'm gonna fucking kill that son of a bitch too. Where is he at? And he knows, he knows he's gonna die. I know he knows he's gonna die. He's in my light, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, there's this fucker crawling around. But if I move it, then he'll know. Where's that? Did he just fucking fall? Where the fuck is he at? Fucking spiders, man, I swear. The fuck is this thing at? I don't fucking know. If I get superpowers, I got bit by a spider. I don't know where the fuck this thing just went. It was here a second ago, and then he just fucking like fell, or I don't fucking know, but it's totally a spider. I don't know where the fuck that thing went. I'm like, should I just start looking around for the fucker though? Because I don't want him to escape. I mean, there's not really like there's much he's gonna be able to do. Yeah, if I see something crawling around, I'll fucking kill it though. I know he's down there though. Don't you hate that shit when there's like a fucking spider and you're like, ah, I see you. And he looked like one of the fucking, it doesn't look like anything deadly, but I also don't know my spiders. So I'm like, should I be concerned mildly? Fuck it. Anyway, but yeah, I forgot my damn train of thought. The damn spider out of the fucking corner of my eye, just hanging on my damn gear, and then he wants to fucking last second drop down, and I'm like, what the, like, you ever notice, like, I'm gonna pull my shit back. I'm like, hey, you ever notice when you try to find something that falls like a spider, and you look and you're like, dude, where did you go? Like, you just fell into like a void, disappeared, and I don't even see you. Normally you see him crawling around or something. Fucker just ghosted me. That's all good though. I'm sure he'll pop up eventually, and when he does, he's gone. Anyway, back to what I was saying though. If I can remember, yeah, TVs with a namesake thing. That's every manufacturer though. They all are like that, dude. Like Sony, they were great years ago, and now they suck. You have Samsung. I mean, they had their off and on moments, but they're riding QLED hard. Like the mini LED train, all that. They're riding it, but they're not actually trying to make them as good as they were, even with the Q8 FN level. I mean, come on, you could do better than you did in 2018, but they're not trying. They don't care to make their LEDs actually look as good as they used to. And then you got LG. I don't actually know that they ever had good TVs as far as LEDs go. So I think we might have to give them the pass on that. But I mean, everybody else is kind of just being a little bit lazy, and that's just the thing there. And it is unfortunate, but a lot of companies do ride their namesakes. Do you have settings for the S90F? I do not believe that I do. I think that got lost in translation. I think the best you'll do is the S95F. That's about as good as I can do because I have folders and sometimes I'll have a video in the folders, but then I'll think I uploaded it and it could be I just deleted it because I get like a bunch of videos that I have to, you know how it is. When you're making content, you got a bunch of footage. And so could be, but I don't know, man. I haven't been able to find those settings and I no longer have the television, so I just stick with the 95F. What's good, Christian Conservative? Thanks for stopping by tonight. Neil Patrick, what's going on? You said, hi, Quantum. I appreciate you for the video you did for me for the S90D and S95F. I really love my S95F with the improved motion. You said it's such a big difference on the D. Yeah, that was the one thing that sold me. That for those that don't know, the S95F has tremendous motion. It's really good compared to the S95D for sure. So that made me make the leap for sure. And then the blue light filter, I'm able to do things with AI that just is not possible with the blue light filter because AI, it just makes things really, really blue, but you're able to kind of reduce that with the blue light filter naturally, and you're able to get a lot better out of your results than that. So, I mean, I've been making amazing settings. I've been kind of quiet in that realm of settings for a little bit, but I've been really making some epic settings for the S95F specifically. Shit just sings like a kitten. I'm watching all kinds of stuff on it, and I'm blown back by how tremendous it looks. And I think you guys will be too once you see what I've been working on. S90D over the LG series, or LGC series. Yes. Anything LGC series, I just would not even compare to the S90D because it truly isn't very comparable to it. We'll keep an eye out on you. Yeah, I know. I hate when that happens. Sergio was going, you said, before you went on about the spider, you were talking about how LG and Vizios and some companies do the same, selling TVs, yeah, for their namesake. Yeah, it happens. I lose track of my mind sometimes when I see spiders and I'm like that shit, especially one that just kind of like I'm not joking. It happens a lot to me like this where something will literally fall off a table or like fall down and it's gone. And I don't know where the fuck it went, how it disappeared. If this has ever happened to you, let me know. But for me, this happens to me. Like, how do I lose a whole ass spider? Like, it just was crawling around on my damn light up here. And then I move it trying to crush him. And then the next thing I know, he just fell on the carpet. I look, normally you'd see the fucker crawling around. Nothing. No, he's gone. He just either burrowed into the carpet or disappeared altogether into the void. Maybe he hit the quantum realm. You know, he's pulling some fucking Ant-Man shit on me. You know what I mean? He's like, fuck this shit. I don't know. That's what I imagine. But who knows? TCL or Hisense? Hisense or TCL? Hisense all day. TCL just does not have the color needed. It's just by comparison to what Hisense does, Hisense can make color look amazing even when they don't have more color coverage than TCL, which is wild. But it's true. And then the AI super resolution this year, that alone is the biggest reason to go with Hisense over every mini LED on the market. They truly are the king of mini LED. That was not a moniker that they placed upon themselves. That was fraudulent. It's like they knew the competition well. They saw everything everybody was doing, and they raised the bar tremendously. And they truly have, because everybody else's mini LED is ass. And it's so hilarious because now they want to try to sell you on RGB mini LED, but like Hisense already has a track on mini LED, while everybody is focusing on QD-OLED or OLED, or just straight up making ass TVs in general. I mean, what is it? Hisense is doing better. So I think that's something that you should know for sure. TCL's not terrible, but you'll feel the dated feeling with them a lot more. And they do have a black crush problem more than they should. I was watching anime. My God, the motion on the S95F is so much smoother than on the D. Now I see what you were talking about. Yeah, it is. That was one of the things for me. Like, I'm a solo leveling fan. For those that don't know, it's around here somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it went. Every time I'm trying to show you guys something, it's always gone. But I had like a solo leveling thing that am I sitting on it? Yeah, I'm sitting on it. This fucking thing. I'm not even joking. This is my shit right here. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, solo leveling fan, dude. Look. I don't know if you can see that. That's my boy right there. Come on now. Shadow Monarch, dude. All about it. I'm all about that life. And I just keep it back here. Or fuck it, I just wrap it around myself so I stay nice and warm since it's fucking colder than fuck where I'm at. right? Just have this wrapped around you, you know? I love the solo leveling. And when I was watching that, the anime stuff just looked absolutely incredible, like the special effects, everything, explosions. I'm still like taken back every time I watch a new anime, and I'm just like, wow, this is actually incredible. The 95 is so underrated for motion in general. And then I did the impossible. I put it in a game mode, which I never really like to do, but I was like, okay, if motion is this good and just regular stuff, how is it for gaming? Beautiful motion in game mode. I don't even know why, genuinely, other content creators have not told you that this is the best game mode ever created. Say those words because it's true. Best game mode ever created. Why? It's fluid, it's clean, it's not too much, but not too little. It gives you that hyper realism without making you feel like your content is really choppy like usual. Now, compared to when you turn game mode off, it'll look choppy because it's that much more fluid. But it's the equivalent of like a little bit above where the S95D was as far as its regular motion out of game mode. It's wild. Like it's very smooth. I did not know that they could do that. And I'm on PC playing games like I've never seen them. They're gorgeous. The colors, whatever they fed the colors, they're beautiful. You know, reds are a little bit over brightened in game mode, and you know, there's no real way to fix that. But I mean, outside of that, it's pretty perfect. I'm not gonna lie. I do enjoy the game mode of the S95 more than any other TV. Like seriously, they ought to just name it gaming TV for the year 2025 and just be like, yo, this is the TV you buy when you're serious about gaming and you're willing to save up to get that gaming experience that's gonna slap you to the floor. Because I'm a big WWE fan for anybody that doesn't know. I make the arenas, I share them with the community on community creations, all that cool shit. And I'm telling you right now, when you watch your favorite wrestler come out and the lights hit and it's looking so photorealistic, you feel a part of that atmosphere like you're in that arena. But the same holds true when you're playing action adventure games or side scrolling beat 'em up games or any of the games I've played and you're just watching it like, dude, this is fucking peak as fuck. Like, this is amazing. Like, I'm watching pure cinema right now and it's just game mode. Like, I've never had that happen. Now, again, of course, out of the box, it doesn't come like that. Obviously, I had to optimize it. But with my optimizations, I don't have no problems. I'm not gonna lie though, it does trip me out when I like toggle back and forth and I'm like, okay, well, let me see how it looks comparatively to the game mode and all the different presets, and I go through every one of them, and I'm like, this is actually pretty bad. Like that they're selling TVs like this, and people actually will like game like this, and people do, and they don't ever complain about it, and they don't ever know a difference. And I sound like a unicorn until they actually see what I'm talking about with my work, and they're like, wait a minute, I could have had this the whole time out of the same TV. Yes. So yeah, if you haven't already, definitely make sure you join because that's how you'll see what I'm talking about in these videos because I sound like a crazy person. I'm aware it's not lost on me. I sound genuinely psychotic and certifiable. Like there's something wrong with me when I tell you that there's a world of difference day and night in a TV you've been watching the entire year or however long you had it because you've never seen it if you don't have my settings. It's my work that's the difference. So I had to put that out there. But with that, anime has been fucking amazing. Like wait till you see it. I mean, Neil, you're a member and you've been a member for a long time, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Like when you see what I made for the F, oh my gosh! And you're an anime watcher like me. I've been living on Crunchyroll. Normally, I game or something like that. I haven't even been able to break away from Crunchyroll because it looks so beautiful and like freaking cinematic as hell, but in the best possible way. Vibrant, modern, beautiful, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I love it. It's fantastic, and I think you will too. So just be on the lookout for those S95F settings because you're about to, yeah, you're gonna love it. At least I hope you will, but I think you will. All right, Sergio says, forgive me if I'm a little slower with my questions. I'm using voice text because it's faster for me. Hey, no worries. I don't have any problems with that, man. Valentine, what's going on? You said, what's your opinion on the S95F anti-reflective coating? I don't have a problem with it anymore. At first, I used to hate it. I was like, oh, it's terrible. I want a glossy screen. But then seeing how it bodied all the glossy screens I compared it to, I've really stopped caring. Especially because I actually appreciate not seeing reflections ruin and sour the experience and I can see everything on the screen all at once. That's actually a really nice feeling for me. It's one of those things, it's like a tumor. It grows on you. You know what I mean? So you got to get used to it. But once you do, it's actually really handy without, again, tearing apart your experience, like people say. Is it affecting the image quality? No, it doesn't affect the image quality. In fact, I found that it's able to hold its own with any television on the market and actually beat a lot of them. If not pretty much every one of them more or less that I've put it up against. It's really hard to beat, even though it has that coating on it, it makes no difference whatsoever as far as ruining your clarity or stuff like that. It just doesn't. People say that it does, but I have countless comparisons on this channel to prove what I'm saying too. So if you kind of feel like I'm full of shit too, make sure you go check out the TV settings, not TV settings, the TV comparison in the playlist, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's absolutely a sight for sore eyes. Brandon, what's going on? You said, thank you, bro. So S95 is the one you choose over the S90D. Yeah, I'd choose the S95F. I actually personally did. I have my S90D just kind of sitting up against the wall. I kind of, well, no, it's sitting back there because I'm still doing test bench stuff, but I don't really use my S90D like at all, except for like when my wife watches a movie. That's like the main TV that she has, but for me, I use the S95F. That's my TV. Like I'd rather have a smaller TV and have a higher quality TV than have a big TV and have to compromise the brightness that the S95 gives me. I'm not doing that because it's that amazing. And yeah, that's just kind of my personal take. But then if you see it comparatively to the S90D, S90D has a lot of detail and everything, but that it can't get over that brightness hurdle. And that's a big one because in certain things, especially anime, but I'm an anime buff. Like I love anime. Hello, I'm wearing my Solo Leveling swag. I'm telling you, I love it. And there's no way, there is literally no way for me to get over the brightness, highlights, and the color volume that happens when you are in the most S-rank battle that you are going to be watching in anime. They're flying all over the screen and you're seeing colors that you've never seen before, unlocked with different levels of brightness. And you're like, I could have had this the entire time and I'm just now finding that out. Like, I'm telling you, it's amazing. So yeah, definitely go with the F and thank me later, brother. You'll love it. Matt, what's going on? You said, what's your opinion on Panasonic TVs? I think Panasonic is a little stupid. If they would have used the Google interface, a lot more people would have taken to them. But using the Fire operating system stunted them because it means it has to be bundled with that shitty ass remote. Normally that's not a problem, except for the simple fact that that TV is damn near $3,000 too, and it is $3,000 when you look at 65-inch models. So the 55 is over $2,200, and then you look at the 65 and who the hell's paying that? Especially when your remote looks like a Fisher-Price toy. I mean, literally. And then at the end of the day, it has the same garbage remote that literally $100 Fire TVs have, $200 Fire TVs have at Walmart and Best Buy. Like, it's a ripoff. They should reinvent the remote at least. And the fact that they haven't, not great. Not a great look for them. And then their user interface is dated. Panasonic, for whatever reason, is allergic to modern. They make everything look like a fucking 2008 TV interface, and they think people want to pay premium prices for it. They're stupid because their picture quality is really good. A lot of contrast, a lot of clarity, good color, not great, but they don't give enough to be competitive with the industry leaders that know better. Tizen, WebOS. Don't know what Sony is doing. Sony has issues, but I mean, this is one of those things you have to kind of, I guess, use your preference on, but that's my thing with Panasonic. And then they have like really just no desirability. The TVs are ugly. They're clunky. Go literally look up a 2008 Panasonic and then literally in the same instance, Google the Z95B. You'll see what I'm talking about. It looks exactly the same. Like the appeal is not there visually. They're not keeping with the times. So I think if they can fix those issues, maybe, but the excitement for Panasonic is just not there. They need to figure it out. Brandon Rogers, what's going on, man? You said Solo Leveling, best fucking anime this year. Hell yeah, man. Shit. I didn't even know anime could be that good, dude. Like, I'm watching the Song Jin-woo go out there and fuck shit up, and I'm like, dude, like, I need more of this. I need more of this 100%. I am dying for season 3. And you know what sucks is like season 3 is going to happen. I don't know how far they're going to animate into the manga because I know I'm not going to spoil anything, but I know what's going to happen because I've read the manga and I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, like you guys can't play with me like this. You guys leave me on this cliffhanger. I'm waiting for it to get animated. You can't leave me with the sauce like this, man. And when it comes out, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely epic because I mean, Solo Leveling, you got it. If you haven't and you like anime, watch it. Even if you don't watch anime, I would use Solo Leveling as the anime to introduce anybody that says that anime is a cartoon for children, to introduce them into anime. Like, you think it's a cartoon for children? I respect that opinion. Give me like 3 episodes of Solo Leveling. If you don't like it in 3 episodes, you can walk. And I guarantee you, by 3 episodes, you're going to be hooked. You're going to be like, wait a minute, what? is going to be amazing. I loved it after the first episode. Solo Leveling is one of those animes, by the way. There's like no bad episodes. So even if you're just hearing me casually talk about anime and you've always kind of heard about it but never gotten into it, take this as your sign to get into it. Like literally go on to your streaming service or whatever it is, Crunchyroll, whatever, and watch it. And I guarantee you, you will absolutely love it. Hell, I could tell you some illegitimate ways to watch it, even though I might be a little bit of a nerd that pays my subscription service all the time. Doesn't mean I don't know the unofficial ways to do it either. I mean, it just, if you thought of anime and the number 9 together before that, you probably would have a pretty good website, is all I'm saying. I don't know how I would stumble across that information, and I'm maybe not putting you on the game, but there you have it. If you didn't want to have to pay to watch it, you kind of don't have to. I'm not saying that. I just heard it as rumors through the grapevine. It's solely for entertainment purposes. This is all satirical. This is not me being serious at all, and I did absolutely not just give you game. So there you go. That being said, though, shout out to Rodell Williams. Thank you for your donation of $20, brother. It helps us out tremendously, as you know. For everybody that doesn't know, YouTube takes 30% of everything every creator makes, by the way. So for me, it's actually a really big help when you guys do big donations like that, because I already, like, if you donate like $1 or $5 or $10, I lose 30% of that, guaranteed. And you can look it up. YouTube is just greedy like that. They will take 30% and they don't care. And not only 30% of donations, 30% of all revenue that you make, they will take that too. So if they donate, they take 30%. If they, you get ad revenue, 30%. So like with the channel, we only make about what? I thought it's like 800. I gave it off last live stream. I think it was like $846 or something like that we made for a whole month of hard work. That's not great. And they take 30% of that. So you could imagine how screwed you end up getting from a lot of the purchases that requires to do YouTube. It's a lot of work and they don't really pay anything. So community funding really does help a lot, because I just save and save and save. And then we get to a point where we can do some stuff, which is why usually, I'll be very honest with you, like this would be what I would call the end of the year. I've already made 2 big purchases. And I hold on to those TVs and I make the settings off of the popularity that it had and tell you guys that this is what we're going to sit on until the new TVs come out, because I'm not made of money. And so this that you guys do helps for next year when the new TVs come out and you want to see new stuff and new reviews and you want me to review certain things. Donations go a very long way. I know it sounds cheesy. I mean, come on, who doesn't feel that way? But I have to be transparent with you, because I'm not bought and paid for. I can't just go to Samsung and be like, hey man, I want to do settings and I want to show you that your settings out of the factory, they don't actually live up to expectations and they could be so much better. Samsung would laugh me out of the room. They'd be like, I'm not doing that. There's nothing in it for me. But they only go to the people that have the biggest clout too, that can give them the most amount of money and return on investment, because why hire marketing agents when I could just buy and pay a YouTuber and then they'll be loyal to me forever and do whatever I say. All I got to do is pay them off a couple of times or take them out to a dinner or give them VIP treatment a few times. And then there they are, literally sucking off my product in every video, and I make bank for it. It's good business for them. Don't get me wrong. It's a hustle. I just don't, you know what I mean? I'm not that guy. And they know I'm not that guy. They'll listen to some shit that I say and fix it quietly, but they don't fuck with me like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm a little too blunt. And in business, sometimes that doesn't really help you, because a lot of people don't like that genuine, straightforward, like, hey, look, you guys have been ignoring your fans saying that they want Dolby Vision. Are you dumb? Like, fix it. Like, that's not helping you and it's not helping other people. You've been ignoring people telling you they don't like the matte finish coating on the S95 series. You might like it, but who fucking cares? Go to the drawing board and do something else. Be better, be smarter. They don't like it when you tell them their truths, because, you ever met like a really rich person? And I'm genuinely asking, because I've met countless rich people. I used to host a group where I've had multi-millionaires around me, okay? Really rich kind of people. And I can tell you from experience, these people don't like to be corrected, because they think that, it's like that alpha energy, like, well, I had to make my own and I did this and I'm important. And so stop. Everybody can be held accountable and told that they need to improve. But it's these companies that get this like almost God complex in their head, and they don't think that there's anything wrong with what they put out. Well, I'm a multi-millionaire and I have $1 billion company and I have this and that. Why do I need to listen to you? You're struggling on your channel with your 90,000 subscribers. It's actually 96. 90,000, it doesn't matter to us. We have millions. See, that thinking is where you stop learning. And that's why I have a problem with a lot of the YouTubers that I see too, because I see it all the time where we all have good advice. I see people with like 500 subscribers, they have a good ass advice and piece of information, and people start discrediting them like, who is this guy again? He only has 500 subs. Listen to what he's saying to you. If I tell you, this is the color black, and I only have one subscriber, that doesn't change the fact that this is the color black. Information doesn't matter how big or how small you are, which is why I respect every creator. And that's the thing I think a lot of TV manufacturers would actually benefit from. Personal opinion, though. But that out of the way, yeah. Hopefully that kind of answered a lot of the questions that I put out, or that you guys put out. Rodell Williams, you said, is there a way to Cash App you? I really appreciate what you do. Keep up the good work. I don't do Cash App, but I do Patreon. Reason I do Patreon is because versus YouTube taking 30%, Patreon only takes 5 to 11%, worst case scenario. And 9 times out of 10, what I've seen, they don't take anything from me. Like literally, they don't even take their cut. So like what you give me, I usually get that exact amount back because I'm not, I guess, one of the big Patreon creators. So they don't dip in and screw me up the ass like they do with a lot of other people, I guess. I get everything you guys give me. So if you give me like $5, I get the $5. It's not like I get the $5, but they are skipping their hand in. Like it doesn't happen to me like that. So again, I prefer to get donations through Patreon because it's a lot easier for me to save up versus having to account for the loss and then all the shit that comes with YouTube. Don't get me wrong, YouTube's great. But the way that you lose money on YouTube is very easy. It's very, very easy to lose a lot of donations. And fans will be like, well, I don't know what you're saying. I donated like $10 to you. That's a lot of money. And then you really break it down. $10 minus 30% is what really I get. Because it's like those shitty businesses, like where the owner will take the tips from the waiter. They'll be like, yeah, the customer might have tipped you a 10, but motherfucker, I run this place, so I'm going to take a little for me, and you get the leftovers. YouTube. It's YouTube, you know? And I think if more creators were honest about that, I think more fans would understand, like, this is a business, like for a lot of businesses, but smaller creators do tend to struggle a bit more. It's a lot harder for the smaller creator. And again, look at people who grind, and I can name names. The people I watch grind. I might not agree. Listen to me very carefully. I might not agree with everything they say, but I can respect the grind. I watch people like Brian's Tech Therapy, Tech with KG, most notably those two, AP Tech, I think. That's the third one. They don't particularly do anything but grind and make their videos, but their subscriber counts take a while to get up there too. And that's because it's hard for smaller creators to get the exposure to your audience and get the audience to subscribe to you and then move to the next level. It's hard for smaller creators now. It never really used to be like this until more millionaires than ever before started being created on social media. A lot more money, more problems. That's how it is. And that's what happened to a lot of these creators. They kind of got trapped in the bubble of oversaturation. A lot of people doing the exact same thing. And so, there's always like a race to be different and be yourself at the same time. So, content creation is a tough thing. But anyone who does donate, like you, Rodell, and everybody else, I do appreciate you guys. I really do. Some 8, you said, do you recommend the U7 over the U8? Not in every situation. If you can swing it, the U8 would be my top pick. Now I'm excited for the new game mode settings. You should be. The new game mode settings are fucking dope, man. I absolutely love them on the S95F that I made. What Andy and LG or LG C5 or B5? I go the C5. High Quantum, what's going on full HD? You made it sound like all TVs are garbage. OOTB, I don't know what that means. Does it matter to go with higher models within the same brand? Yeah, so what I was saying in the beginning of the video is like, if you want like a Samsung TV that you should avoid, basically everything outside of the S series. If it's not an S84, S85, S90, or S95, you're wasting your money, honest to God. And that is as honest as anyone's going to tell you. Yes, I know the 8K models exist. Yes, I know the Neo QLED models exist. But I promise you, look at the price that you're spending, and you could either get a Quantum Dot OLED for the same exact price as the QLED model, mini LED model, or you could literally walk away with a substantially better TV if you go to a different brand altogether. Like if you go to Hisense, you're cashing the fuck out. They're giving you everything. And I mean everything. You're getting HDR, you're getting 4,000, 3,000 nits, you're getting clarity on par with OLED, you're getting inky black levels, you're getting monstrous color, you're getting subwoofers that are tunable, you're getting all kinds of cool shit. You're getting AI, like you get every form of HDR, complete package of HDR. Like you're not missing for anything. And that's where Samsung kind of becomes an unattractive offer because all they can say is, well, we're Samsung and we have Tizen. And what else? When the market is that competitive, you have to compete. And Samsung isn't doing that anymore. And I think that again for Black Friday is where I say just get you if you're not looking at QD OLED, don't look at Samsung. It's not worth your time because they lowered the quality of their mini LEDs and everything below that so that you would buy the bigger step up model trying to sell you on, well, it has deeper black levels and all this shit. The same thing LG kind of did with their LED line, but way worse. So you got to kind of look at that too. Because they're come on, the mini LEDs, like let's say like something like the QLED line, even the Q80, the Q90, those TVs non-negotiably were over 2,500 nits. I have a Q8FN. That shit is still over 2,500 nits. It's bright as hell. But then you look at the new Q8s and they're shit. They're pathetic. What is that? Like literally, what is that? That's what you have to ask yourself. And when the quality drops like that, you might as well just go with what they're selling or move on to a different brand. And that's just unfortunately what I'd say about Samsung for sure. The other reason I swapped the S95F was for the blue light feature and AI customization and optimized feature is awesome. I loved your new settings or your new AI customization and optimized settings. They are incredible. I appreciate that. I'm glad you were able to see what I'm talking about because I'm always ranting and raving, but it's always good when somebody that's seen the work, experienced it, can actually see what I'm seeing on my end too. Because when I make these settings on my end, I'm like, wow, this is incredible. I want to share this with the world. And then I get it, and then some people are like, this is great, this is amazing, or some people just don't say anything at all, or they just say something on just the video that I made the settings on. They don't actually come on the live stream and say, no, like this shit was actually pretty incredible. Wow, like this is great. So it helps other people see too, like this isn't like me just blowing smoke up your ass and saying, I'm amazing. I don't care about being amazing. I'm a mortal man. I will live and I will die and nobody will remember I ever was here. I don't care about that. What I care about is helping while I'm here. And the thing is, these settings really will help you. For $5, it will transform your TV from zero to hero. You will go from feeling like, or if you didn't even notice it, you're going to notice that your TV was actually a zero the entire time out of the box. You never, even if you tinker with it and you make settings, there's just no comparison to having somebody that genuinely has a mastery of it giving you those settings and not charging an arm and a leg, charging you the price of an Arizona green tea at a gas station. You know what I mean? $5. Like that's nothing for a lot of us. And doing that, you'll get so much of a superior television that by the time you walk away, you're like, I made out like a bandit because I don't gatekeep, right? I don't like say you only get the one setting for the one TV model. If let's say you have an S95F, but you also have an S95D or an S90D or a Sony Bravia 8 Mark II or an LG or TCL, you get access to all of those settings within the same $5. Nobody does that. There's not a service like that. Everybody wants to a la carte it. Well, if you work with TCL, it's a little different and it's an extra fee. Everything's about money. Everything's an extra charge. I hate that. Don't you? Like when you go to the fucking local eatery and they say, oh, would you like cheese on your burger? No, not at all. I don't want you to upcharge me the $6 for the cheese. Being sarcastic with the $6. It's usually like $1. But it's still stupid. It's like when you go, like now, the new thing that they've done. Like I had a nice dinner with my wife and everything. And I tell you, the stupidest thing they could ever ask you when you go to places like Olive Garden, right? And you're eating and they go, okay, so you'd like spaghetti? Yes. Would that be with meatballs? No. You know what? I just want the fucking marinara on the plate. I'll lick it like a dog. Like, yes, I want the fucking meatballs. What kind of spaghetti? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's stupid. Like, it's stupid to me that they ask these questions. And I look at them every time like they're aliens. I'm like, would I like meatballs on spaghetti? Like, what are we calling this? No, I don't want, like, I call that poverty food, okay? Because when I was really broke, right, when I was in my 20s, I would fucking literally be so broke, I'd have to boil up noodles, the little 99-cent at Publix that I got back when I was in Florida, okay? I have my noodles, and then I get a big-ass thing of nasty-ass marinara with a bitter taste, and I dump it in the noodles, and I'd fucking stir it up and dump it in a cup, the Tupperware, take it to work every day, and that was my lunch. Do I want that when I go to an Olive Garden is what you're asking me. Do I want to struggle even though I'm paying not to struggle? Fuck no. Stupid ass. Run me those meatballs, bitch. Like, what the fuck you mean? And that's how I get with it. I'm like, this is stupid to me. But that's the same kind of concept too, though, with everything nowadays, you know? So again, bringing it back in, it's like I don't a la carte, I don't overcharge. It's all about making sure you have every ounce of the dignity and respect that you get, because when you join a membership it should be all inclusive for what you are buying and what you're paying for. And I hate, like Amazon Prime, for example. I love the shows like Power. Oh, can't wait to go watch that. But the fucking audacity, every time I'm on Amazon Prime, they're like, oh, well, you got to buy the stars package and you got to buy this and you got to buy that. Everything on Prime Video. Have you been on this thing? Everything is an upcharge. Everything is an upcharge. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, I can't even watch a single show. It like, I go and I go, oh, this would be good to watch. And it goes, not included in your Prime membership. I'm like, why do I even have it? I don't fucking know. But then you watch shows like Power and you're like, oh, that's why I have it. It was a good show. You know, or you end up like me where I just kind of, because, I want to make sure my family has all the subscription service. You buy all the fucking add-ons for Stars and HBO and fuck, you're like, oh my gosh, just make one price. Be honest about it. Don't just sell me on the one price for just your shit. Sell me on all the add-on stuff too that you know we're gonna want. That's how I see it though. Maybe that's just my way though, but I think it is what it is. I got the S95F because I'm in a bright room with the sun beaming through the door. Reflections take away my experience, and the S95F definitely gets rid of that. Daniel Stories, what's going on? You said, I got fired, gotta cheap out. E6 Cinema Series from Hisense QLED, is it okay? Go watch my video about the best TV in basically every price point, and regardless of where you are, it starts at $200 and it goes all the way up to like astronomical numbers, and you'll find the best TV for that price point, I guarantee you. So hopefully you do that and you walk away with a win, my brother. Which is better, the TCL QM6K or Hisense U6 Fire TV? I haven't seen the Hisense U6, so I can't honestly answer that question. But from what I've experienced with the U7 and the U8, it would be reasonable to say that this is how it's going to play out, having done a review on the TCL Q6MK. Okay, so the TCL Q6MK, fantastic TV, wonderful. However, it does have a little bit of weaker like moments where sometimes blacks won't be as great, color won't be as strong, but it's good and it's clear and it looks wonderful and it's a nice TV with decent color and everything. It should have honestly been the mid-range with how beautiful it is and wonderful it is. However, Hisense, with the way they do color, is just legendary. It's beautiful, wonderful, and the AI super resolution this year, good luck TCL keeping up with that. It'll be far more blurry by comparison. And I think, again, similarly to every spec across the metric system that they have, TCL is going to give better black levels. TCL, if anyone's watching, always gives better black levels than Hisense for whatever reason. They got black levels down. All TCL needs to do is figure out how Hisense does brightness and color and do that. If they could do that, and contrast, if they could do those three things, they'll beat Hisense without any effort. But so far, TCL is behind in color, contrast, and brightness, and that's where Hisense takes the cake. So that's what I would recommend based off of how you'd recommend, as far as how you watch, basically. So I would say Hisense for those higher color scenes, better brightness, that impact of depth and stuff, Hisense. TCL, if you just want black levels, clean, nitty gritty. TCL tends to also have better motion than Hisense too, though. So it would depend on what you're watching and how. So that hopefully helps you out. Coming from an Element 2016-inch HD TV, 40-incher, or you said 40, it's 2016 40-inch HD. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a big upgrade for you, my bro, for sure. Do you have a Panasonic player? They have an HDR optimizer feature that lets you adjust the dynamic range. Yes, I do know that they do have that. No, I don't have Panasonic. I have Sony. That's just what I chose for myself. Yes, YouTube is greedy, but trust me, Apple is the greediest company. Shit, you ain't got to tell me. The moment they started ripping headphone jacks out of phones and starting to charge people for the fucking, what was it, the charger? I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. You are charging for the only way to charge your damn phone? Like, what kind of lunacy is that? Like, you must be absolutely sniffing markers in the back of your HR meetings, because there's no way that you could literally arrive at that as a possible conclusion for people to take on. Like me, I have an Apple phone, but only because it was pre-existing. My wife had one, and my Samsung started acting weird, and I have an Apple. I hate Apple. Even having an Apple, I hate it passionately. I call it the Chafa iPhone. Crap. Totally terrible. Don't like it. I love Samsung phones. Why? Freedom. Freedom. Like, if I could think it, I could do it. And that's why I like it. Samsung is just, it's like, it's just total freedom. That's the one thing I would say about it. Bro, I'm on day one firmware. Should I download the latest firmware? No, if you have day one firmware on the S90D, you have a superior experience for sure. E6 or Hisense E6 Cinema Series. I don't really know a whole lot about the Cinema Series, to be honest with you. It sounds like a projector, which I don't really get into. Matt King, great freaking advice. If you want the best technology and find it hard to spend the cash, go down in the screen size and get the best. Exactly. That's what I do. Sometimes I don't have the money for a 65-inch S95F, but I got the money for a 55, and I'd rather look at a smaller screen with the peak quality of today than look at a big screen that has shitty ass quality. But that's me though. Some people just want a big screen and want to feel like they're at the movie theaters, because the movie theaters ain't great either. But for me, if I have something that will make me rethink the way I thought a TV should look, and I see it in a smaller format, I'm not complaining. I'd rather watch a tiny 55-inch than a 75, 85-inch that does not have that same level of picture quality, because there's no point for me. We had Black Friday in Europe last Friday. 77-inch Samsung S95F had the same price point as the 65-inch Bravia 8 Mark II. I bought the Sony, and I'm happy with my choice. Well, that's all that matters, as long as you're happy. Q, do you like projectors? Not at all. The LG G5 costs 20,000, or rather 2,000. If the stand is included, it will cost 21. I mean, yeah, that's not really like a big difference. I mean, it might as well cost 2,100, because the G5 was costing $2,200 even like a month ago. So if I had to pay a little bit extra, I don't really see a problem with that. Especially like, charge me the inconvenience fee. Fuck it, put the $100 on the bill and let me not have to go hunt down a stand. I think that's the dumbest shit you could do. Like, why are you charging me for the stand? But I don't know. So I gotta charge this thing here because I don't want it to die mid live stream. I'm pretty sure you guys probably wouldn't want that either. So tell me if you can still hear the audio after I plug this damn thing in, because chances are it might just die on me. Where's the damn thing? There you go. Come on. It's like plugging in an HDMI cable. All right, so now that it's plugged in, I need you guys to let me know if you can still hear me. If you can't hear anything, then I know for a fact that it's not working. So the first comment I see at the bottom that says it can hear me, then I'll be like, okay, I'm good. You hear me. All right, good. Perfect. So now at least I know you can hear me. So now let's go back and answer some questions. Okay, so I'm gonna just start blowing through these comments. Okay, so imagine big budget companies. Imagine big budget companies have a lot of greedy. And then we have another comment out of the box. Do you have settings for the S90F? No, the S95F. S95F is 3,300. The S90D is 1,600. What would you do? I mean, personally, I'm not gonna pay $3,300. I would get the 65-inch, since I know these prices well. I'd get the 65-inch S90D. I'm not gonna spend $3,300 on a television that literally the following year is gonna be discontinued and no one's gonna be talking about it anymore. I mean, 90 to 95% of the picture quality of the S95F can be achieved on the S90D, and that is the smarter choice. I thought you were the best calibrator only in the United States. You thought I was the best calibrator only in the United States? No, brother, I'm the best in the world. Like, I'm not humble about that at all. I literally have never met a soul online or anywhere else that has had any results. Like, Artings is in Canada. Beat them. That was easy. I mean, Digital Trends, HDTV Test, I'm pretty sure he's in the UK somewhere. Beat him. Name me a calibrator anywhere that can step to my level as far as making TVs look good. I'm an optimizer. I've moved away from the calibration side of things entirely. I don't claim the calibration world. I think it's stupid. I'm not calibrating to the industry standard that is 35 years ago that makes my TV look 35 years older. I'm an optimizer, so I make my TV look like it came from 2025. I claim that. I don't claim the calibrator world. So yeah, I could calibrate the hell out of a television to my standards, but to theirs, not so much because it's pointless. Anybody can make a TV look old. So that's what I'd say there. Go S90D to be honest. Can anyone tell me how to get the $5 calibration service from Quantum TV? Oh, get the membership? Yeah, you got to get the membership. That's how we do that. It's funny. Right as I said that, my wife literally says the same thing. She's saying, he's the best in the world. Show me someone who is better, probably not. No shit. Literally, you know what's so beautiful about that? I didn't even see that comment until I just got to it just now, and we literally talk exactly the same. This should tell you the level of synchronicity me and my wife have, because that is so fucking rare that you ever will have that in a lifetime, let alone in your marriage where it's forever. So I'm very blessed to have that. So yeah, that's always my favorite thing. Oh, so great. Anyway, moving on past that, LG B4 or B5, B5, drop the HDR settings for the Hisense U7 QG for members, bro. I no longer have the U7 QG, and all settings are already posted in the playlists. William Slayer said hi. Hi, what's going on, man? If you use your full settings with AI like you did on the S90D on three TVs, junior flagship S90D, junior flagship S90F, flagship S95D, which would be the top in terms of the display? The S95F would likely pull it, or rather, the S90F would likely pull ahead because of the blue light filter with the AI. So if I had that ability to go in and remake those settings, repurchase it, and do that, I'm positive it would beat the S90D and S90 or S90D and S95D because those don't have a blue light reducing feature. And the problem with the AI, see, the 90D and the 95D, they both have the AI, but the problem is it's too blue. And the only way to defeat it is to turn on blue light filter, reduce that blue light to take that intensity of it, just how wildly blue it is, down to normal, and then work in that parameter and get it back to something that's palatable, and then go beyond that. And that's the only way you could do that is on the F and on the 95F, 90F. So that's what I would say there. And the 95F settings would probably work on the 90F, just so you can know that. However, if you're not doing it that way and we're talking raw picture quality, I would say that the would probably be tied with the 95D. So the 95D and the 90F would probably be tied. The 90D is still amazing, but it doesn't have the brightness. So in certain examples, it will end up losing because it doesn't have the headroom to get the same level of color volume, which, as we know, brighter a television gets, the more colors you get because it hits different shades from the brightest shade all the way to the darkest shade of that color, only exposed through a higher level of brightness, which is why I say what I'm saying right now. Otherwise, I would go with the S90D because it's absolutely the absolute best value you can get and one of the better pictures you'll ever see with tremendous depth. And it just matters as to how much brightness matters to you. That still pisses me off that they removed the headphone jacks. Yeah, no kidding. Um, Hey, Quantum, you're not the only one who hates Apple products. I can safely say that removing the headphone jacks to this day makes no sense. Yeah, it really doesn't, and I can't understand why other brands like Samsung would follow suit. It's very stupid. Fortunately, there have been some very creative Chinese companies, very specifically, that have made innovations as far as headphones and headphone splitters and jacks that plug in to your freaking USB-C, turning into the old school headphone jack, so your old school wired headphones. Because come on, some of us spend a lot of money. I know some people with those Turtle Beaches, with those Astros. Some people, some crazy cool headsets from your Bose Quiet Comforts. Y'all spend some good money on some good wired headphones, and you can't even use them because they took the headphone jacks out. What is that? So of course, I love when I see innovation, and I'm noticing a lot of Chinese companies do that a lot more than the American ones. Gotta say, and it's always fun because then I'm able to access that kind of technology and have it what I need it, have it when I need, and it really does work out. So yeah, I feel you on that headphone jack stuff for sure. Keep day one S. Yes, keep the day one Samsung S90 D firmware. It's amazing. LG C5 or Bravia 8? LG C5 hands down. Have you heard of the Philips Ambilight OLEDs? I have. I don't really put a lot of stock into them, to be honest with you. LG C5 or S90F? S90F, hands down. How's the burn-in with the S95F? Haven't had a single problem. The sound is muffled now. Sorry, it's muffled. Can't do anything about that right now. Anything different if you use your settings if you run through Roku? I haven't tested Roku, so I don't really know. I tend to stay away from the Roku platform. Quantum's favorite brand is Samsung. His favorite panel type is Quantum Dot, and his favorite food. Favorite food is a trick question. If it's good, that's my favorite food. Good food. Shit, I can tell you right now. Go back even 2, 3 years ago on this exact channel. I was looking like a fucking beanpole because the woman I had at the time never fucking cooked shit. You see these chubby squirrel cheeks I got now? Shit, I'm flexing my wife's good cooking. Shit, I got man boobs now. Look, I got like titties and shit. Like I'm eating good over here. You know what I mean? Look, I'm going to be vulgar for 5 seconds. I assume we're all adults here, so please, let's be the same age. Look, I'm well fed, well fucked, and well taken care of. I don't have a worry in the world when it comes to how my wife treats me. I'm fucking satisfied. So, yeah, my favorite food is anything that's good, and my wife's cooking is fucking amazing. I mean, amazing. This woman will make spaghetti, the most simple dish that'll have you sitting there licking your fucking fingers. You'll be like, fuck, is this really spaghetti? Like, you'll be sounding so fucking stupid because it's just amazing. She does everything amazing. Literally, a moment ago, she made me an ice cream cone. Something so simple. A fucking ice cream cone, right? Oh my god, it was the best thing. It's better than the Disney World ice cream cones that they fucking have. You know those Disney World ice cream cones that you fucking, the strawberry ones that you go crazy for as a kid, and literally Disney World in Florida? Better than that. The shit was better than Cold Stone. Everything is amazing. And she does it at home with home ingredients. And I'm just tasting the shit. I'm like, oh, it's a fucking amazing. And I'm fucking like, man, I live the fucking life. I'm happy. So as long as you guys know that, you guys know my favorite food. And there's my wife right there. I see you, my love. I see you. Giving me all her love. I love my wife. She's amazing. You guys see? You guys see what a good woman is like? You guys remember Raggedy Ann wasn't like that. Raggedy Ann was always, talking bullshit. So you guys got to get you a good woman. If you got a Raggedy Ann or a Negative Nancy, kick that bitch to the curb and wait for what's for you, because I'm telling you it's out there for sure. Because you guys see, I'm a fat man now. I'm literally, you guys might not be able to tell, I'm over 180 pounds right now. When y'all were watching me 2 years ago, I was 130 pounds, 125 pounds, 141 pounds was my max. 141 pounds. I am well over 100. There'd be times I step on the scale and I'd be like 190. I'd be like, fuck, I'm a big guy now. Like, and it's weird because like when you've been skinny your whole life and you finally gain weight because you know you have a real woman that cooks for you and shit, you like lay on your woman, right? And she's like, fuck, I can't breathe. Because you're so used to being fucking little your whole fucking life. You lay on your woman. You're not little no more. You're crushing her. You gotta ease up. And so you have to learn your weight again. Yeah, that was a fun little thing me and my wife had to go through. But either way, I figured it out. But the point of that is simply put, I mean, I'm telling you guys, I mean, ain't no thing like a great woman. I'm telling you, this is the most beautiful thing out there. So hopefully you guys know that. Uh, Moving on with the questions though, how does an S90F compare to the S90D or the Hisense U8QG? The S90D is going to be the better value for money, even over the Hisense. Hisense with the U8QG is a fantastic television. However, it has a simple problem that off angle is still going to have typical LED issues, and in occasion, blooming will be a problem depending on the sweet spots of the screen. In addition to just generally being weak because it's not self-emissive, where the S90F and S90D take hold. Then you look at something like the S90F. The S90F is going to be vastly superior to the S90D because it has that blue light filter like we were talking about a minute ago, and combined with AI, it's able to hit new heights that the F, or rather the D, just couldn't hit. Now we look back at the Hisense U8QG. The Hisense U8QG is amazing, excellent clarity, beautiful color, but you have to be dead center. But if you're dead center, the bright scenes in movies is going to probably beat what you're going to have on an S90D and an S90F. So it really depends truly on what you're watching scene by scene. If you notice you're watching more bright stuff and you maybe don't want to spend a lot of extra money, the U8QG 65-inch only. The 55 is, and all the other ones are all over the place. I would just go with the 65. That'd be the best bet. Otherwise, get you an S90D if you want to save some money, or go with the S90F to get the best quality in this particular bracket. Hopefully that helped you out, man. LG G5 or Samsung S95F or Sony Bravia 9 for an 83-inch. Bravia 9 is out. Sorry to break that to you. Bravia 9 is a very shitty TV, very washed. You've heard it be overhyped. It's nowhere near that hype. LG G5 is incredibly clear, but they lack that next level color. And if you're paying 83-inch price points, you're going to want the next level of color. That's where I would go with the S95F. It's going to give you pretty much everything. And that One Connect box is absolutely genius. And if you have any Samsung device at all in your home, SmartThings is an absolute must have. For me, I love my bespoke appliances. There ain't nothing like it telling me my washer machine is done or my oven has preheated. And at the same damn time, I have my fucking like phone that I've lost, which I lose now. I don't know what's happening to me. Maybe I'm getting like, I'm losing part of my fucking long term memory. I don't know, but I always lose my phone. I'm like, where the hell is this thing? Find My Phone is the most amazing innovation Samsung has ever had. Even if your phone's on vibrate, it will find your phone, which is perfect for me because it's always under a fucking couch cushion or under a bed or some shit like that or down the side of a bed. And I would never look there and I find it without fail. Because even if it's on vibrate, it gives you that sound notification. It overrides it. So that's absolutely very smartly played by them. So yeah, I would go with it in the order of this: S95F, LG G5, and I wouldn't even look at the Bravia 8 Mark II. If you or not Bravia 8 Mark II, well that too, but I wouldn't look at the Bravia 9. If you have to look at the Bravia 9, you're better off staring at a wall and watching paint dry because that's how bad the picture quality looks. You're better watching paint dry until the next season where you have enough money to buy a different TV. Even if you buy a Vizio LED, QLED, it's better than having a Bravia 9 because the Bravia 9 is a shit TV. There is no nice way to say that. Everybody that's talking that TV up is lying to you. And I'm telling you this because I don't want you to waste your money because at 83 inches, it's going to be a bitch to bring back to the store. You have to rent a vehicle or have a truck, and that's still going to be a hassle to you to load that shit in the car. It's a pain in the ass, and it's not worth it. Or you have to have a bunch of strangers walking in and out of your house, taking the TV out, scoping around your shit. You don't know what they're doing. Maybe some of them have sticky fingers, or maybe some of them are planning to rob you later with their homies in ski masks. Don't take the risk. Do the smart thing. Listen to what I'm telling you. Get your ass 95F. You'll be better off for it. Trust me. Uh, Marty. Martier, I don't know how to say it. I'm messing up. You said 10 out of 10 story on Godfire. My wife says facts, absolutely. Alexis Velasquez says, congratulations, you look much healthier. Damn right, I'm eating damn good over here. Shit, I love it. What's up, Q? 65 inch U8Q or 55 inch S90D? I saved up for now. S90D, brother. Don't be even mildly confused. S90D is where you go. S90D for 1200 for the 65 inch or S90F for 2200 for the 65 inch. If you can swing it, get the F, but if not, the D is going to give you a bitchin' picture either way. Anime, gaming, and movies is what I'm using it for. If you're using it for those things, I would try to get the F if you can, for sure. What's your opinion on the Samsung 83-inch S90F with this W OLED screen? I haven't been able to confirm that myself, so I genuinely don't know. I hear this. It could be QD OLED, it could be W OLED. I don't know. I have no idea. I have not tested it. I will say that if it is W OLED, then don't really buy it at all. Just buy the W OLED that you know of because I don't put a lot of stock in W OLED personally. Thank you so much. Not a problem. Oh my, that sounds great. Thought I made a mistake thinking the S90D had a better picture quality than the F, the latter, which I just got. Do you think your settings, or I'm sorry, do you think your S95F optimizations wait, do you think your S95F will optimize the S90F as well? Yeah, I mean, so the beautiful thing about having an extra brightness and a higher headroom is when it has a higher headroom and you go and apply it to a lower television, you're going to end up optimizing it for far tighter contrast with a lot more headroom to move up and get a little bit of extra contrast because you're not actually maxing out that panel. See, when you have a bright TV, you need to lower the brightness, and when you have a less bright TV, you need to raise the brightness. So it becomes very simple what you need to do. If when you see the settings, it's not as bright, you leave everything the same except the brightness, and then you adjust that to your room. And when you do that, you walk away with a beautiful picture every single time. So yeah, I think it'll be just fine for sure. Uh, just bought the S95F, fingers crossed, or S90F, fingers crossed. I hope you get it. E6 Cinema is half off. Do you know how long the sales usually last? I mean, we're in November, so even if you miss a sale, there's going to be another one around the corner, I'm fairly certain, or shortly leading before Christmas, so I wouldn't worry. You said I got fired, I got to cheap out. There's nothing wrong with having a cheap out, man. I completely understand entirely. I really urge you to watch that video I put out, though. I went through every single price point. I did the best TV of 2025, literally by price, and I went from $200 all the way up to over, I think, like $2,000, $3,000 or whatever it was. you will find the TV for you. And in that price point, you have different sizes as well. So you're gonna find a TV that's worth everything. I'm telling you. Yo, what's up? He said, "Yo, sup, dog? What's up, man? Hey, Q, I plugged the S90D AI settings into the regular standard settings. You're able to control the color tone on the standard, so why not just do standard instead of AI?" Well, the thing is, there's no real way for you to get the kind of color out of standard that you could get in the warm 2. So I don't like standard or normal, or rather cool color tone, because those two are very blue. Either warm 1 or warm 2. And if you find warm 2 to be too warm, then warm 1 is the only concession that I ever make with that. Because when colors are too blue, you have a problem where you start getting into inaccuracies just in the real world, not just like, technically, but in the real world. Colors start to look wrong. Browns start to turn chalky, yellows start to turn green, purple starts to turn blue, red starts to become like a bluish orange. It doesn't look good. So you have to get around that. Granted, the warmer you make the color red, the more orange it's going to look. There are things you could do around that. Again, I'm aware, but at the same time, it's a whole balancing act to it, and you can't just use that with standard. Standard is too blue. There's just no way. They're just, especially with the AI settings on the S90D, that already is too blue. Even in Warm 2, I'm telling you, it's going to be wildly too blue when you go to something like standard color tone. I bought the S90F, haven't unboxed it yet. It's a great TV, solid. I would recommend you join the settings for the $5, or join the membership for the $5 and snag my settings for the S95F in order to dial in the S90F. I think that'll be more than a brilliant template to get you where you need to be, since they are virtually identical. Sorry, I meant the S95F picture settings would optimize the F or S95F. Yeah, similar concept. I think, yeah, just like you're saying, because they are so similar, they can optimize one another. They are virtually interchangeable. You just have to adjust the brightness of the F per your ambient in your room. If you're noticing that the brightness setting particularly doesn't match, but that would be the only thing, since that's the only real difference between the two, is the brightness capability. Otherwise, they are about the same TV. I hope they fix the HDIG for the S90F soon, hopefully. The Samsung S90D suffers less from brightness. It's got richer color, more depth after your full settings with the AI. What makes the S95F to be superior than the S90D in terms of display? So the S90D has S95F rather has a couple of unique characteristics. One of my favorite characteristics that it has is if you're outside of the AI modes and the regular modes like standard, similarly to the S90D, if you turn on low on contrast enhancer, contrast sees a massive uptick. But naturally, natively, when you start lowering down contrast on the S95F, it also has a behavior where it starts to darken colors. And this leads to depth, because usually reds are just way over brightened, yellows are way over brightened, and greens are over brightened. Those are the three most egregious. It doesn't do that. Instead, it keeps it really tight and dark. This leads to literally skin tones, everything with those colors, flowers, everything. It tightens up the contrast and gives the depth. So it's almost like a two-step process, to where contrast on the S95F gives you more, not only depth, but it also controls the contrast. So it's like it controls the brightness of the color and the darkness of the color at the same time. So it keeps it from over brightening, but it keeps it intense too. And then in addition to that, it also has the AI features, being able to be paired with that blue light reduction filter. And the beauty of it is, let's say the S90D, way too blue, and unfortunately, because it's way too blue, you just are going to run into certain examples that are just going to be inaccurate, and you're going to see the blue, and you're going to be like, wow, that's a really blue example, and that's not at all what it's supposed to look like. Versus the S95F, where before you would have had that, taking that blue light filter away, because it's not intense. Hear this, it's not an intense blue light filter that turns everything super yellow. It just takes away a little bit of the blue, which is perfect, because that's what you need. And then you're able to balance it out from there, and it gets to sing like a kitten in a way you'll never see on another TV. I'm telling you, it's absolutely brilliant. At least another TV that doesn't have the feature. And when you have that, it's absolutely mind-boggling stuff. I'm still blown away. I literally can't wait to go watch more anime on my S95F, because I literally love it that much. And those are the big differences between the D and the F, and why the F, The 95F pulls ahead. I started off hating the Samsung S95F. Go watch my earlier videos. I fucking hated that TV. But I turned around and started loving it because what ends up happening is something so very special and beautiful when you dive into the lesser talked about features like the AI optimization modes, and you start learning the characteristics and the behavior. And also, here's a little pro tip, a little secret sauce. Always on the S95F, turn your peak brightness to medium. Do not rock it at the maximum, rock it at the medium, and you're going to see some wildly gorgeous shit come out of that TV because it really balances out almost immediately, looking way better than it did than if you try to push the most that panel can give you. So hopefully that helps you out. Shout out to So Bustin'. I appreciate your donation of $5, brother. It truly does help out here. I appreciate the tip, my friend. When was the video for the budget TVs? It was, I think, last week. It wouldn't be very hard to find. If it is, just get with me in the comments and I'll send you the link. Your S95B settings were gold for my TV. Oh, I miss that TV. What a great TV the S95B was. I'm glad you still have that, my friend. Quantum, why is it in every other mode, or why is it in every other mode in the Samsung or in Samsung TVs you have to access warm too, but in dynamic mode you only have cool and standard? This is because dynamic mode is a safe mode for retailers typically that allows them to pump out vibrant, saturated, bright colors to entice people into the store. And let's say that you're not very experienced as a retailer and you don't know how to get back into the retail mode. So let's say you have a stupid employee, right, that just turns off retail mode because they were messing around with something, or maybe a rep came in and they started changing things around, like a Magnolia rep at Best Buy or whoever, right? And they turn off your retail mode, that's the demo mode, that's really bright and flashy. Well, retailers have a safe or an in, or manufacturers, so to speak, add this extra protection in there to ensure their sales. They need that dynamic mode to stay dynamic and those brights and those vibrant primary colors to stay primary and vibrant, because you need to battle the blue light or the glare of those really bright, fluorescent lights in a retail store, which is what dynamic mode was designed to do. The whole point of a dynamic mode is to capture you, even though it's combating a really bright light source, and then pull you in and suck you in with false colors, clipping, all these issues you're going to see in normal content that's hidden with demo content purposely designed to hide all those flaws. And then you get it home and you see it's just nothing but a torch mode. But that's why you have only the color at cool or standard, because if you use warm too, you're not, the warmer the light, the dimmer the light source typically. That's why the brightest lights you'll ever see, think about your headlights. You ever had a motherfucker behind you at night blinding the shit out of you? What color were their lights? Blue, because that wavelength is very aggressive and it will combat pretty much everything. And that's the same concept here. They are just trying to defeat the retail lights and give you something to hold on to. So that's why they stay away from warmer color temperatures. And they don't even give the option in case you have a busybody employee that goes in trying to mess with the settings. They can never change the color temperature to screw over the manufacturer from getting the sales from that TV looking popping and vibrant. That is literally the entire concept of it. So yeah, a little history lesson, kind of, but more so informational than anything else. What's your opinion of Dolby Vision 2? Apparently, it will solve motion problems in movies where movies will need to be remastered, re-released. Do you see this as a practical solution? I don't believe anything until I see it. I see a lot of specs on paper, a lot of YouTubers that gas it up, tell you it's the most amazing thing because that's their job. And then you get it home and you're like, it's the fucking same. It's the same shit, different toilet. Not interested at all. So I think that's something you have to consider as well. It could be an innovation or could not. I hold my judgment until I actually do see it though. Do you have any LG C4 settings? I do believe I do. Make sure you make your way over to the settings playlist and it should be there. I usually list the models on the settings, so it makes it easier to find. Do you think you have to play with game mode off for the best picture on something like an S90F? The Last of Us Part 2 has looked surprisingly underwhelming with game mode on for me. Typically, my friend, I always turn game mode off because there are just processing issues and things that keep you from getting to the next level, like blocking out 20-point calibrations. And again, some things and items just being grayed out and you not having access to it. It's just not worth it. I turn that shit off usually and end up without any of that because I like the smoothest motion processing and extra processing that has to be defeated to give you the best input lag. But if you are not an online gamer trying to get ranked as one of the top players in your nation, you don't need fucking game mode. It is pointless. I can guarantee you have the skill enough outside of game mode, especially with the input lag improvements that have been seen over the last decade, to be able to beat almost anything a CPU could throw at you if you are not going online. If you're going online ranked, I think that is the only time you actually need game mode. Otherwise, turn it off and leave it off. That's my personal thing, though, to be just 100% blunt. Also, I highly appreciate you answering all of our questions, boss. Absolutely. That's the whole point of this live stream. I'm not like all the other YouTubers in this audiovisual space that like don't answer questions or pretend that they don't need to. I answer every last one of your questions. I do it once a week. I get everybody to come out. I say, come out, bring your friends, bring your questions. You can ask me literally anything about any topic, any subject, so long as I'm able to cover it within YouTube's terms of service and their policies. If you have a question about anything, I will try my best to answer it. You don't have to stay on topic to TVs. You could ask about gaming. You could ask about audio. You could ask about whatever you want, and I will tell you what I think. And that's the whole point, is to have that community. So absolutely, brother, I appreciate you seeing me answer all the questions. Shout out to, I can't pronounce that at all. Gakungu. Gakungu. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I can't. I'm sorry. But shout out to you. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the bronze membership here. I think there was a misunderstanding of what I was saying. Why not turn contrast enhancer to high and put color tone to warm 2 in the regular and standard versus the AI mode? Well, the thing is, contrast enhancer high is very destructive and it clips everything in a nutshell, and that's why I don't really use it. Hello, Quantum. Big fan. I want to upgrade my TV. I have an LG C1. What do you recommend? If you can swing it, I'd say get you an S95 series television, whether it's the S95F, S95D. If not, get you an S90D or an S95F. Those are the 4 top TVs right now, and you'll be the better off for having one of those bad boys. Is the 77-inch S95F really $1,500 better than the S? No, there's no way. The S90F is every bit as good if you're looking at a $1,500 difference, my friend. Are you going to create AI settings for the S90D in HDR mode? Yes, it is a work in progress right now. It is very difficult to pull out, but again, or pull off. A special note for all my members, everybody to take note of. The settings here on the channel that I have are for SDR, for YouTube. Patreon is where I do HDR because it is a lot more work and an entirely separate workflow that takes substantially longer and pulls me away from weekly projects. So that's why we do it that way. Also, we are crowd and self-funded, and there's no real way to keep our operations alive if I don't do something to generate the revenue we need. So that's why I do it that way. But rest assured, the S90D settings are in the work. S90D is right back here. I've been working on them, but it does take a while because they don't have that blue light filter to try to get those AI settings to hum like a kitten. But I'm fairly certain I can get something pretty awesome. So I hope you guys will stick through to see what I've got. Now, that being said, I'm going to answer the next question. I think Dolby Vision 2 is very insufficient. Dolby Vision. The biggest reason being there is no solution to fix Dolby Vision is to deliver the TV at 12-bit panels. I mean, that's my thing. Like, I don't know why we're even having Dolby Vision conversations on 10-bit panels. I think it's very stupid, short-sighted, and that's why I don't really fault Samsung for not putting it in a 10-bit panel. Maybe that's why Samsung doesn't do it, but I think, again, if you want Dolby Vision, you need to announce 12-bit panels and use that, because that's when we'll see real Dolby Vision. Thanks, Quantum. I never knew that dynamic mode. That's a shame. I think dynamic mode would go up to another level if it had warm 1 or warm 2 color temperature. Yes, but this is exactly why the S95F and S90F are S-ranked TVs, because even though dynamic mode does not have a warm 1 or warm 2, you can use the blue light filter. And the blue light filter reduces that blue light and brings you closer to that warm 1 look. And that, my friend, is gold. It makes the mode actually usable versus a trash mode you just never use. And that's something I think is really useful because it's the first time that's ever happened on a Samsung TV. What's going on, Apple Jelly? Thanks for stopping by tonight. Hi, Apple Jelly. How's it going? Neil Patrick says. We appreciate you. I appreciate you too, Brandon Rogers. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Hello, happy Saturday, everyone. All hail Quantum TV. I wouldn't be myself if I let that one go. I have to say this: all hail our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Literally, you got to put respect on the name above all names. That being said, send cozy vibes. I appreciate that. Thanks to Brandon. Thanks at Brandon Rogers. Oh, okay, you guys are just having a conversation there. No problem there. Doesn't the AI mode lock contrast enhancer too high? Though and thanks for answering my question. It does and it doesn't. So if you go into AI customization, which is what that mode is called, and then you go in and you optimize the customization, you can actually set where the contrast is based on the pictures. Now you're going to have to use your eyesight and like really see what it's doing, but you can get the contrast not to be like as intense as contrast enhancer high normally is by just lowering the contrast too. And you can balance it out in a lot of different ways. A few different possibilities open up to make the TV shine like I've gotten it to. It actually is pretty impressive, actually. Quantum, do you think the S90G will be as bright as the S95F this coming year? I mean, no, I think it'll probably be as bright as, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a possibility, but it really depends on what the market does too and what Samsung's next trajectory is. For example, if they're really trying to push this RGB mini LED and they want you to really believe that it's the hottest shit on the market, they're going to nerf the performance of their QLEDs and be like, well, they're not our flagship anymore. And, anytime they say that shit, they always lower the performance. Like, I mean, remember when Sony came out and all these companies came out, they're like, oh, full array UHD, and we have slim backlight drive and grid away backlighting system, and now look at them. They have the worst LEDs on the market, gray blacks all over the place when they had all that technology like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. You know what I mean? Like they got lazy. And so I think that's one of the things that we have to consider too. It just depends on what they're going to do with the market because laziness does play a role in this too. So I can't really say. That being said, though, guys, I think I answered everybody's question. My back hurts from leaning forward the entire time. We still haven't seen that damn spider that fell in the middle of the live stream. I don't know where the hell he ran off to, but he's around here somewhere. Or maybe he's just dying in the intense cold because shit, it's colder than hell. We're already in the 30s where I'm at and fucking freezing, okay? And yeah, that's what I'd say there. But you guys, I'll do my best to be back on Friday, this upcoming Friday, so I can answer all of your questions again because I love just breaking the fourth wall and having conversations, just being real with you guys. And of course, bring your real conversations too. Again, I'm really not joking. You can have a conversation about anything that you need help with or anything that you want to know. Talk to me like I'm a person, not AI. I'm not AI, and you're not asking me an AI question, okay? If you have a question, this is your time to be like, hey, man, like, what's up with this? What's up with that? And I'll help you out. Andrew, you said thoughts on motion smoothing. I absolutely love it. I think it's essential, and I think it needs to improve to add different tiers. The ideal motion smoothing would, instead of just having an arbitrary number from 1 to 10, would have the actual refresh rates. How cool would it be if you had a motion smoothing technology that locked at 24 FPS, 60 FPS, all the way up to the TV's maximum capable refresh rate, and the motion smoothing was based off of that? How dope would that be? I don't know. I think it'd be pretty incredible. Maybe somebody will implement it if enough people, which they probably won't, gets around to saying something about it. But that being said, you guys have yourself a blessed Saturday. I won't be making videos on Sunday. For you guys that don't know, our upload schedule is basically Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I try to keep Saturdays off so I have time with my family. But I didn't do live streams last week or yesterday, so I had to do them today just to catch up. But also, I always like to keep Sunday, the Holy Sabbath, holy, keep the Sabbath holy. So, I don't work on Sunday. I refuse to. But at the same time, I'll be back on Monday. So, you guys make sure you leave your questions, comments, concerns. If there's something you need for Black Friday, I'm making Black Friday content this week leading up to Black Friday. Come on, you got to let me know what you need, and I'll make sure I get you covered. That being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Everybody, thank you for coming out. Those who donated, thank you guys for showing the love and the support to the channel. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching the #1 brand in honesty. And until the next live stream and video, I'll see you guys later.